Okay, so in this video we're going to cover some interesting little tidbits about the crew. Not Jazor, because Jazor's been, like, fully fleshed out pretty much. So this is going to be things that you as a player may know, but your character definitely does not, because Atreus would never come up with this stuff. So here's the thing about Atreus. Atreus is actually an undercover cop for the Turian military, not CSEC. Turian military specifically. He's an MP, military police. And that came about because so Atreus' background is he was the seventh son of the seventh son, so he had a really big family, and he had 6 older brothers, and then he also had 7 sisters. So there were 14 kids in the family plus the mom and the dad. So, and 2 bathrooms. So you can imagine how horrible that was growing up for him. He saw his sisters naked quite a bit, and he hung out with them more than his brothers did. So, which is probably why he's so good with girls. Like, he knows how they think. So, yeah, Atreus had a really big family, and he still does. Like, all of his brothers and sisters are still alive. His dad has passed away, but his mom is still kicking around. And he still has a few uncles and aunts who are still alive, because, I mean, remember, 7 sons of 7 sons, like, he has a lot of uncles. Okay, so, like, he was part of the big family, so when he was 15, he joined the military as Turian tradition dictates. So he joined the military, and he did very well as an engineer. Like, he was really good at fixing things, and he had some biotic potential, but not enough to really make him a cabal. So, you know, he wound up in the regular corps, and he wound up with, like, a special scholarship to work on a ship fixing things, because he's really good with his hands. He's really good at fixing things, and that's how he wound up going to Shaanxi during the First Contact War, or the Relay 314 incident. And that was all because he was on a general ship, and the general was a part of the landing crew. So he was he was behind the Turian lines fixing things, and when the Turians got overrun, he got captured. Because he's not very good at stealth, he's not very good at hiding, so, because he's a big guy, and he was a big guy even when he was 15, so, and he was gangly then, so he got captured rather easily, and because he's always been really good at talking his way out of trouble and into trouble, he, essentially what he did was, he befriended his human captors. Like, he was so friendly and so polite and so nice to them that they just didn't know what to do with him. Because, I mean, I wouldn't know what to do with somebody who was, like, when I was, like, attempting to interrogate them, just said please and thank you just all the time, and was very nice and polite to me. Like, that would throw me off. And he did that without giving away any important military information. So he was a captive for close to a year. And then he was released back to the Turians, and he managed to make friends with some of his human captors, and he ended up remaining in contact with a lot of them, and so that story actually is true. But other than that, it won him some notice from Turian command, because he didn't give away any Turian military information. He was captured for that long, and they were like, we don't understand how that's possible. So they put him in charge. They put him amongst this, like, important, like, Black Ops group, and he did a lot of Black Ops work on Tuchanka and some of the more outer reaches of the Terminus systems and that kind of thing. And he got injured when he was protecting another crew member from a juvenile Thresher Maw attack, which is how he got the acid burns across his chest. And he was treated by this young military nurse. Well, this medic, really. She was a doctor. and he ended up falling in love with her, and he's not really good at not taking damage, so he saw her quite a bit, and eventually they fell in love and they got married, and he quit his job with the Black Ops group and became a military police on a forward Turian colony in the Traverse, and he settled down with his wife, and they had a kid. They had a son, and everything was going really well for him until a bunch of a group of Eclipse mercenaries attacked the colony, and his family was killed. And then he found out a little bit later that his wife was actually brutalized by the attacking Eclipse mercenaries. So he kind of went on a vindictive streak for a while. He got in contact with one of his old Black Op members, who at the time was working with the Blue Suns. Hi, Mom.
Hello. Who are you talking to?
Just people.
Okay then.
Okay. That was my mom. So he wound up going off with this Blue Suns friend from his Black Op days, and together they hunted down all the Eclipse mercenaries that attacked the colony and kind of killed them. Like, he specifically hunted down the ones that attacked his family, because I think Atreus knows that not all mercenaries are bad guys. He was focusing on the ones that had hurt his family, and he got almost all of them until he lost his arm, most of it, because what happened was from like here down, he lost nearly all of the flesh and the plates and the tissue and the muscle. So what he had left was like portions of bone and his finger and like sinew. It wasn't much. So he had to get a synthetic put on, and it was a very painful process. And in the middle of the process, he realized that he needed to give up this like revenge streak, because it wasn't what his family wanted for him. Although he still misses his family very, very much. It's part of the reason why he's so nice to females in particular. It isn't because he's a chauvinist or because he doesn't believe they can't protect themselves. It's because he imagines every woman is his dead wife, in a way. So he wants to protect them because he doesn't want to lose them again. And it's kind of the same way why whenever he runs into children or teenagers, especially teenagers, because his son would be a teenager or in his early 20s, he gets very overprotective. He wants to help them so much, like with Tasca, and I think a little bit with Tavi. All he wants to do is help them so much that he's like willing to give up like all that he owns just to help this one person who he barely even knows, because he just wants them to have the life that his son never got to have. So he gave up the revenge thing, and the military approached him because he was still technically the police. He'd gotten leave in order to go on this revenge spree. So they approached him, and because they realized he's really good at taking out mercs, so they decided to use him kind of as an undercover cop or as a spy within the Blue Suns. And so he's been with them ever since, and it's been 10, 15 years. And so that's how he wound up with the Blue Suns and working with Zora and on the on the Crying Star. And the turning around point for him was, my mom talks very loud. It's genetic. So if you can hear me over her, essentially, the turnaround point was meeting Zora, because how they met was originally he was her squad leader, and then she got really, really drunk because she found out her dad died, and they wound up having this really drunken night of debauchery together, and he kind of woke up, he fell a bit in love with her, not too much, but you know how Atreus is. Every person he's with, he loves just a little bit, and the more he gets with them, the more he loves them. But you know, he loves every person he runs into. So you know, he was a little bit in love with Zora, and like he continued their infatuation despite the fact that Zora got really like about it. Like she started to not appreciate it quite as much, and eventually he found out who her dad was, and really went off on her about it because, you know, Saren was a traitor, and for a lot of Turians that's a big issue, and it was a big issue for Atreus until Zora beat the crap out of him and was like, look, I'm not my dad. You know, you can either deal with that or you can, like, just fuck off. So he decided she was right, and that was the point where he decided if anyone was going to make the Blue Suns not criminals, it was going to be Zora. So he gave up command to her, and that's how he wound up on her ship and underneath her command and one of her best friends. And sometimes they'll get together, but most of the time not. Like, especially if one of them is in a relationship, they won't go near each other. That was the turning point for him. So now he's kind of at this place where he's kind of looking for a way to get out of his life and to retire without dying. You know, and I think that's mostly going to happen after the war. But I think that's the main thing he's looking for is a way to settle down. Okay, so that's Atreus' secrets. Then there's Ilias, who I'm going to give a bit away here. Ilias has stunted growth. He's really deformed is really what it is, because because he's only like 5'6", 5'8", which is short by Turian terms, because I think on average they're around 6 feet, 7 feet tall. Like, they're all really tall. And so he was born smaller than everyone else, and he grew up smaller, and he's got stunted growth, and he's never gonna get any taller. He's done growing, and it affected his mental health. Just from the start, he had some mental issues, so he has to be on medication. And the only thing that really kept him in the capable and like able to function properly mode was he had this older sister who really looked after him, and he had a really close connection to her. And after he became a pilot in the military, he found out that she'd gotten killed during a military campaign. So he kind of, it broke him mentally. He had a mental break. Everything, I swear to God, today. Nope, fine, kitty, come here. This is the kitty. He's a very pretty kitty. So Ilias had a mental break, and he kind of went off, and he nearly killed and raped one of the female privates on the ship he was serving on. So he got dishonorably discharged, and he was put in a mental facility until he escaped. And he was roaming around Omega for a while until Atreus and the Blue Suns kind of found him, and they found a use for him. And it's really it was Zora that really whipped him into shape, and she did it by literally beating lessons into him. She's like, she was, you're gonna learn to take your medication, and if you don't, I'm going to treat you like a dog. Yes, kitty. So, you know, she beat lessons into him, like, if you haven't taken your medication, you sleep, and then you take your medication. And yes, kitty. So he's better now, but he's never gonna be that person who is okay. So that's Ilias. He's a bit nuts. I always have one. Yes, Daphne. I know, kitty. So that's Ilias, and then there's Marius, who doesn't really have much motivation. His motivation is eventually to retire with a nice guy, because he's gay. I have one gay guy. That's my mom. Anyway, guys, so I guess that's it for now. I may give away more information later, but that's all you're getting from now about the crew. And that's all you're hearing from me now is Lemon. Alright, so I guess I will see you guys later.